What's up, guys? So I want to talk about something today, something very important. Okay, not really that important, but interesting. The thing about Pichu is, I remember I think I was scrolling through Reddit, it might have been Twitter, I don't know, random social media smash stuff, right? And I saw a thread discussing characters that were nerfed, and one of them was Pichu. And people were saying, you know, Pichu is the most nerfed character in the game. He didn't even deserve the nerfs, actually. He wouldn't even be a top tier character nowadays. You know, he was overrated at the time, wasn't right? He was just, like, people didn't know how to play the game yet. And I saw that, and as you can tell, I was like, no, it's wrong. The character actually wasn't nerfed. Would be insanely broken still. And then I thought about more, honestly, and I'm like, is that wrong? Maybe these people are right. Maybe the character was nerfed a lot and, like, wouldn't even be top tier nowadays. So, that's the point of this video. We're here to discuss Pichu, this character that was destroyed in 3.1. Would he be top tier? Would he even be viable nowadays in the current ult meta? Or, yeah, let's just get into it. So, let's talk about this character. So, first of all, we gotta talk about 3.0 real quick, just because that happened, where they had small nerfs to him. They nerfed every projectile in the game pretty much, made him do less shield damage, which equally nerfed a lot of characters, and it was good for the game, by the way, because like T-Jolt back here poking shields was stupid. And then they also made it so his aerial hit stun, so when you hit him with something, and his landing animations were like easier to hit, so multi-moves would connect more reliably. Just really nice change that honestly the character was like impossible to hit with random things before that. And then 3.1 though, there was a lot of nerfs in 3.1. Now I think the one that is least important, and this might sound crazy, of all the nerfs listed was self-damage nerf. They made him take about 50% more damage from like all the moves doing self-damage. So T-Jolt went from 0.4 to 0.7 damage. Forward air went from 1 to 1.5, etc. 50% sounds like a lot. And for a lightweight character, every point of damage does add up. However, in retrospect, we're playing Ultimate. This is a game where random moves do 15% damage. You have to do 30 forward airs for that 0.5% more damage to equal to like one random aerial. You know, that's not including combos or stuff. In retrospect, I don't think that mattered much, even if like it is objectively just a nerf overall to like every single like match you're playing with Pichu. I don't think it does that much. And in 11.0, they actually reverted some of these, and it really didn't matter. Like, it was a nice thing for Pichu players, didn't help them. The more helpful nerf, honestly, 11.0 was they made Pichu's ears intangible during his neutral air, which actually did help. That move is like a lot better than it was because it can challenge moves a bit more, but it wasn't enough. Anyway, back to the nerfs. 3.1, a more important nerf, but not the biggest one, by the way. There's bigger ones. Was the forward smash nerf. Ooh, so that move used to be 50 frames total. Now it's 54. The thing is, 4 extra frames on a move that's like, 50 already, doesn't like that much. But anyone who like really knows frame data knows a 4 frame nerf to something is generally massive. Pichu forward smash in particular to multi-hit lingers from frames 16 to 31. So that meant before the nerf, you had a 19 frame window to punish it, which when you're getting ledge trapped by the move, right? It's a multi-hit disjointed kill move. For ledge trapping purposes especially, that like 19 frame window isn't the most to punish with. Especially if you're playing a character who has like slow like ledge drop aerials, slow ledge jump fastful aerials. You know, you have the mental stack of trying to react to what they're doing, and you want to get attack a forward smash. Oh, you get attack a little bit too late, you get punished for it, whatever. So especially considering how early forward smash actually kills, pretty big nerf overall, I'm gonna say. Something people don't really talk about. I remember Pichu players would just do like dash back forward smash and neutral, and if it whiffed, you couldn't punish that reliably. And if it hit, oh, you just died. Okay, whatever. But there is a nerf that I think most people remember more, right? It's forward tilt, because people remember when Pichu would just spam forward to the ledge, and you would die at percents that were just a little bit too early. It was only 20 knockback scaling nerf, which honestly, the numbers in Ultimate don't make sense. They're all imaginary. Like, oh, it's 150 knockback scaling, now it's 130. But the point is, this move probably killed 5 to 10% earlier on average, maybe even as much as 20% early, I forget. The way I describe it, whatever it is this was like his main kill move. Pichu would get you to ledge, he would spam forward tilt, it would have no lag, and if it hit you, died. If it whiffed, he could do it again and again and again. You can still spam it, but you effectively live like 1 to 2 interactions longer per per stock versus Pichu because of this. It's like, imagine if Steve back here killed like 10% earlier on average. There's so many situations where back here barely kills, right? Or you're so afraid of back here killing that you can't choose an option you otherwise might risk, right? In fact, there's even a lot of setups where like Steve can like set you up into a combo where back here is going to kill you, where if back here killed 10% earlier, that setup might not work 10% later, and suddenly that's no longer a thing. So for a main kill move to be nerfed like that, even if it's still a kill move, it ends up having kind of like a rippling effect on the entire, like on the character's entire game plan. More than the self damage, this nerf I think was massive. And people will say, oh, it only kills 5 to 10% like later than it used to. Especially for such a lightweight, combo heavy character that really needs to take stocks early. That is a massive nerf. But we're actually not done here, because we're at the biggest nerf, the most important gargantuan nerf. This nerf like blew up the character, honestly. And that is how much they blew up Pichu's Herbox. So, right here on the screen now, we have a picture. The red is Pichu's Herbox before 3.1, and the green is the Herbox after 3.1. See here as well. So yeah, but I like this one more. So the thing about a Herbox nerf, and I play all of them, I know all about Herbox nerfs and why they suck. A Herbox nerf affects everything about the character. I mean everything. Like, obviously it's easier to hit him, right? But that also means when he's spacing attacks, they don't buff his hitboxes or anything to compensate. So now all of his hitboxes, even if they have the same range, have less disjoint. They're easier to outrange, easier to trade with. If you block an attack, he is now closer to you than he was before, meaning he needs better spacing to make attacks safe across the board. In fact, there's a lot of attacks that won't be safe anymore. When you hit him, it's easier to combo him because he has a bigger hurt box. Multi-hits are more reliable on him, right? And then when he's recovering, easier to two-frame. When he's jumping around trying to use his crazy mobility to avoid you, easier to swat him out of the air. Literally everything matters. And especially with how much his hurt box was nerfed, right? Like the green around like his head and his body, it's not that big of a nerf, honestly. But the ears, especially when like for forward air, he's, extending his ears forward. I imagine for up B, he's like kind of going a bit flatter and long. When he's landing, I think like he extends his ears forward. There's like a lot of animations with Pichu, if I remember correctly, where he basically extends his ears forward. Right, in fact, we can look at them real quick. Yep, T-Jolt, kind of like extending forward. So, I think this is the nerf no one talks about at all. That crippled the character. So, with all these things considered, would Pichu be a top tier character? Would he even be viable in current ults? Because I'll say right now, Pichu is not a viable character. He's like a mid tier, maybe upper mid tier, which to me is like semi-viable. It's like the right bracket can make him viable if you don't know the matchup. But people learn the matchup, they got better at the game. Is Pichu still played? I think the answer is yes, with some very bad matchups. I think he'd be a very solid high tier, maybe like top of high tier, like top 20 as low as top 30. Definitely not top 10. I think Steve would annihilate him. FGC characters, Luigi, like those close range touch of death characters would be really hard for him. Honestly, he'd have a lot of similar bad matchups to Fox. And Fox is a very good character, arguably top 10 or just outside of it. Yeah, so I think like Pichu, his movement is ridiculous. His combo game, insane for both the damage output and kill power. Just like he has a lot of cheese stuff too that would have been mastered. T-Jolt, great move, recovery. Even though it's easy to two-frame, amazing recovery. Like, he actually is an insane character across the board. And I think arguably a lot of people underrate him a little bit. I know I used to. But, and also, people don't fight him anymore. Post-quarantine, I fought like 2 Pichus in bracket, period. It's like in 4 years, I fought 2 different Pichus in bracket. Whoa, that's crazy. Right? So people don't see the character anymore. Because there's no reason to play him over other characters. But yeah, I think he'd still be quite a menace. I think people would just be complaining about the fact that like nothing has lag, kills super early, and it's really hard to hit him without the nerfs. But you know what, guys? I'm only one person, right? And people always go, Dabuz's opinions, LOL. In fact, LMFAO, who listens to Dabuz, his tier lists are crazy. He's just a Rosa Olimer main who's played like Paladin stuff in bracket before a top level. His opinions don't matter. So I want to hear though, I do want to hear what your opinions are of it. Has anyone even played Pichu regularly post-quarantine, right? Has someone used to fighting modern day Pichu? Give me your thoughts. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Let me know if there's other characters you want me to make videos like this on. You know, Ultimate is a game that's like 6 years old now. You know, it hasn't been patched for 3 years. This game is so different now than it was on like its launch. But yeah, guys, that's your boy Dabuz signing out. Catch you later.